got them as little piglets the first year that we were on the property. That was about 6 or 7 years ago. We didn't have a place to put them, so they went into one of the chicken pens. Same basic structure as the pig pen is now, and they started to tear up the ground. I am Claire O'Brien. I am the farmer florist at Sunnyside Farm. We raise beef, pork, chicken, eggs, Thanksgiving turkeys, and newly launched, we're doing cut flowers. There are 3 farmers. There's myself, my stepfather Homer, who is background in sheet metal mechanic. He was an experimental model maker about 25 years, worked a couple different jobs, Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, and then my mother, Dru Peters. She has a background in sales. She worked for Random House and for Disney, managed multi-million-dollar accounts, and at some point my stepfather said to her, "Why aren't you doing that for us?" And she said, "Well, if you can produce that much, we'll do that full time." Homer, being the sort of don't use tools as they were intended, sort of mad genius that he is, said, "Hey, they could dig up and break up my sod for me." So we did that the first year that we had vegetables. It was really the first year that we had done intensive vegetables for sale. So this really helped put them on the map, started getting them going, and then we just changed the pen enough that they can't escape. We had a couple of escapes last year. They weren't in the pen. We had them where the potatoes. It's a really solid pen now. Most of the pens are the same basic frame at the bottom. It'll be a different top. The wheel system's the same. The frame's the same. But whether it's a cattle panel or more like a chicken wire, to keep what's in there. You don't want them escaping. And we stick with this sort of pen system, even with the chickens and the egg layers. A lot of people are like, "Don't you let them free range?" Well, we found when everything free ranges, we get more predators. Everything likes chicken. Everything likes chicken. And then with the pork, you want to keep the pork because we love our pork. We put our pigs to work, yes, and then they have one bad day and they become what we eat.
I undershot it first and then I overshot it.
That's all right. I'll push it back. Morning, honey.
A typical work day for a pig is they get woken up in the morning. They're usually up and about a little bit, and then they start squealing a little bit because somebody has come by, and you know it's time to move them. They have cleared the space that they have been in the previous day, and it's time for them to be moved. The pen will get moved that day, and they'll stay on that for a full 24 hours, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, depends on when we can get out. And they strip that ground. They root. They have these teeth. You think of like wild boar with those tusks. Domesticated pigs have nice big teeth, and they root through the soil and the grass with that snout, searching for any remaining roots, any critters, any bugs, and they just tear it up. And it can be really destructive if you just let them loose in an area. You can lose a whole section of your property. So we really try to make it focused. They get a little bit of kitchen scraps, a little bit of bread that has gone stale. Occasionally they'll get a little bit of the chicken feed if that's all that we have. They get plenty of water, a good 5-gallon, and if it's really, really hot, we will spray them down because pigs don't sweat, so they have to keep cool. That's why you think of pigs rolling in the mud. You know, they get to sleep all day. They get to root around when they like to. We don't force them to do anything. It's just their nature.
Now the fun part. Oh, yeah.
Our dogs came onto the farm with names. Those are the only things with names. None of the pigs have names. None of the cows have names. Chickens and turkeys, of course, don't have names. The cows, the pigs, the chickens, the turkeys, they all become a meal.